little different than all the rest. I'm quite old-fashioned, wear a hat, sometimes play chess. And when I'm out, I'm looking for that vintage fling.
Bonjour, hello, bienvenue. Thank you for being here today. And if you are not sitting down and you need a cup of coffee or a glass of wine, go get it now. And because we've got a lot to talk about. As you can tell by that thumbnail, this has been a crazy week. Last week, I turned into an OCD person about my house. Never in my life have I ever been like that. I'm not probably the neatest person in the world, but you know, I kept a clean house. But last week, I became OCD. Last week, I lost my phone for the third time. Had it stolen in 23, had laid it down in IKEA in 24, it was stolen there. And in 25, I just got through videoing some beautiful footage of Paris and Notre Dame and this River Seine and this new, well, it's not a new place, but it's called Bully, B-U-L-L-Y. If you're ever in Paris, please look them up. I was in Saint-Germain and they are absolutely lovely. I'll put down like a little picture of the place because it's very old looking. It isn't old, but it's very old looking. And the lady there, she's dressed in black, and you'll see her white collar, and you'll see her sitting at the desk. If you buy a cream, or if you buy a candle, or if you buy some perfume and you want it wrapped up and you're sending it as a gift, they make the note out to the person you're sending it to in calligraphy. It's absolutely stunning. So anyway, as I left them, I was going across the river and I was going to take my final picture and the battery died on me. So I just thought, okay, I'll put it in my little computer case. And I did, but I didn't zip it. So I sat down, my bag ripped, I had a tripod in there, I had my computer, because Barb and I had been going over plans and talking about what we're gonna do for the girls' getaway. We'd gone to the hotel and things like that. My bag ripped, that fell, and I saw my lipstick and chapstick on the right-hand side of me, and I bent down to get it. And then my phone must have fallen out on the left side, and I didn't pay any attention to it. I put it, zipped it back up, put it in the bag, went off to get on the bus. And I went down probably a couple of miles, maybe a mile and a half, and realized my phone wasn't with me. Got off the bus, walked back, tried to find the phone, it wasn't there. And of course, I didn't expect it to be there. It either fell in the river or I left it and someone saw it and immediately picked it up. But I really do think it fell into the river because it's very thin. It didn't have a case on it. I know, I'm the worst. I did call my daughter. She got the phone for me within 2 days. I'm still trying to set it up. And then I got on to Amazon and ordered me 2 lanyards. I have a lanyard that stays on my door for the key. So I just put it around my neck because I'm usually trying to get the dog out, the cat to stay in, his little poop bags, his little harness, and I'm trying to do all that at one time. So sometimes I forget the key. So now it's on a lanyard and I just put it over my neck and we're out the door. So I'm gonna have to do the same thing with the phone. Although I did put the phone one time on a lanyard, but it was so heavy on me. But I don't care. From now on, it's going on the lanyard. I mean, that's just the way it is, whether it's heavy or not. Okay, crazy week. And as you saw in the video last week, I got so flustered with myself for screwing up the video from last week. I just decided I was just going to get on the floor and start scrubbing my kitchen floor with a toothbrush. I mean, seriously. I think that's when the OCD kicked in. I'm not sure. But there's a reason for it. I am sure of that. And I do want to tell you something. It's a little serious, but it happened to me yesterday. And, you know, when people do crazy things in the newspaper and are on Instagram or anything like that, usually the news, people say, we don't want to give out their name, we don't want to give them any more credit, you know, and this is how I feel about this person, but I do want to show you this. This happened to me yesterday. I had bought my groceries and I was walking down the street and I always wave to the people that have the little clothing place in Blue that I buy my clothes. They don't give them to me. I do buy my clothes. Now, they will allow me to put them on layaway, but I do purchase clothes from them. He waved at me and he said, come here, come here, come here. And I said, okay. And I walked in. He said, you're in trouble. I said, oh my gosh, what? And he kind of smiled, and then his wife said, oh, it's nothing. It was a letter. Someone sent him a letter from the States. San Diego, California. I don't think the person's from San Diego, but anyway, I did talk to the police in San Diego yesterday after it happened, just to let them know about it and just to let them, I filed a complaint, not that they can do anything about it, but I just wanted a paper trail to start in case this person ever does this again. And I also did the same thing the next day at the police department here in Fontainebleau, in case that person wants to discredit me at any other store. But whatever, I did go ahead and file a complaint because I do want a paper trail. And this is the letter. It's all caps. And it's written in French, although my person that was my teacher and her husband, they did read it and said some of the French words were a little incorrect. So they don't think it was written by a French person. But anyway, what it did was they had said that I'd been married a tremendous amount of times. And I don't know where they got that information, but it was quite wrong. And they also said that I was stealing from them because I had lots of money and I didn't need free clothes. And said that I go around town asking people for free clothing all the time. And they just wanted to let them know that I wasn't a very good person because that's what I did. And so we were talking about it. He did interpret it for me, and then I had someone else to interpret it for me. And we talked about it, and he said, I just want you to be careful, Janice. And I said, well, I don't understand why anyone would think I would get clothes free. You know, I've even told people that I put them on layaway. That's not free. That means I'd pay them out so much money a month. And he said, oh, don't worry about it. And then she said, his wife said, you know, just be careful. And so we just laughed about it. And then he said, hey, you want to have a cup of coffee with us? And I said, sure. And he turned around real quick and he said, I just want you to know, you're our friend first and our customer second. And I thought that was so nice and so kind. And they made me coffee. They even had decaf. And they made me a cup of coffee, and we just sat and talked and laughed and just, you know, we just visited with each other, which I thought was lovely. And so anyway, people just, this person that did this took time, spent money, and I just feel sorry for them because I would really like them to have a more fulfilled life than having to, or feel like they have to do that to someone else. But anyway, that was part of my crazy week. And then there's a part that I haven't told you about. In December, I had a friend of mine, and he asked me to move in with him, or possibly something else. And I had to say no. And it wasn't that I don't like him. I think he's wonderful. He has a beautiful home. He lives in a beautiful area. He lives in a beautiful neighborhood. I mean, anything a woman would want, he has. It's just gorgeous. And he offered to, have my business, my girlfriend's getaway. He'd put me upstairs, make my office upstairs, and I wouldn't, then I just have to fly back and forth. And, he only has one car, but he said I could have that car. He would buy himself another car. He'd pay for my interest. I mean, he just was lovely. And he said, Janice, he said, we're getting older. We don't need to be living by ourselves. And you need, someone with you if you get sick. I need someone with me if I get sick. And I thought, well, that's true, but I can't leave France. I mean, my heart is in France. And I would like to tell you that I took some time to think about it, but I didn't. And I know there are women out there would say, what in the world? What's wrong with you? It's the other people that want to move or make a move or feel that drawing to move somewhere, whether it be France or Connecticut or Alaska or wherever, they have that pull, they will understand, because it's just something you have and you just can't let it go and you can't give it up. I mean, I have had so many times when I felt guilty for leaving my daughter, and I thought, you know what, I'm always an ear for her to talk, and we can do videos and see each other, and because we didn't see each other that much even in the States. When she was working so much, I probably saw her twice during the month, and that was usually to have lunch or go shopping real quick. We just never did have a lot of time. I really see her more now, even though I'm not there. So I did think about that, and I just thought, no, this is my time. And if people can't understand that, it's okay. Because I don't understand some people that won't go do and make their dreams come true. So it's just kind of like, I understand a little bit maybe why you would think I should jump at that, but I can't. My heart's here. And when we got on the Eurostar to come back home, and we got into France, and I started hearing the French language, I just had the biggest smile, and I just told the kids, I said, let's go get the Uber, and we're going to go to Gare de Lyon, and we're going to go home. I was like a little kid. I was so excited. I knew I was home, and I just felt good about it. So yes, I was proposed to, and I did turn them down, but it wasn't because I didn't care. It's just that France is my home, and this is where I belong. This is my purpose. And I got to thinking, what am I going to do in the States? You know, Janice in the States, and then my business, you know, showing people around and having people come see me and going to Gare de Lyon and meeting people at Le Train Bleu. Oh my goodness, I can't give that up. Speaking of Le Train Bleu, I had a lady invite me the other day. I had the best cup of coffee. I hadn't had coffee all day. I had run out. So when I got there, I had a cup of coffee with her. And you know how somebody you just click with? You know, sometimes you just have that kindred spirit. Well, that's what happened to us. Or that's what happened to me anyway. And she's going to the south of France in February. And guess who she's invited? You, Max, and me. We're going to the south of France, and I'm going to video, and we're going to go over the border into Italy, and I'm going to video there, and I'm just going to have the best time, and Max and I are going to take the train. And hopefully we can take the train down to Nice. I've got a couple of friends there I would love to have lunch with, and then head on out to Menton. And I just can't wait. I mean, I've never even been there, so I'm like a little kid. And the first thing I thought of was clothes. Oh my gosh, what am I got to wear? I can't wear a heavy sweater there. I've got to do that. You know, it's just the way I am. And I just thought, oh, I can't wait to share this with you. Because the week I had last week, I like to share some good news with the week coming up. So I can't wait. And one more thing. February 2nd. I guess I should say that. February 2nd. I will have been in France 3 years in this apartment. And the week before that, I'm going to treat myself to a wine and cheese tasting. It's 3 hours, and it's a lovely woman. I've been wanting to do this for the last 2 years, and something's always come up. This time I'm going to do it, and I will video as much as I can. Just, you know, not sure she's going to want me to video her or the other people that are there, but I will video as much as I can. And that will be, you know, in a couple of weeks video. But I'm going to go live on February the 2nd. It's going to be 11 p.m. my time, 5 o'clock your time, Eastern Standard Time. And I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to go live, and I'm going to talk to you, and I'm going to answer any questions. If you want to know some questions about moving to France or about how you do it, how do you find an apartment, how have I been for 3 years, what's the difference between the first year and this year, how has it improved, has it gotten worse, whatever. I will be live on February the 2nd at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'll also put some other notes on the comment section. And please stay to the very end so you can see the new people that I got to meet. And one last thing that happened yesterday that I'm so happy about. Just one moment. Let me go get it. You know, the other day when you toured my home, you saw like a cream cover over this gray couch. And I hope my landlord is not listening to me because it is ugly. It doesn't go with anything. I needed something bright. And the two men, Paul and Francisco, who always help me out with things, are not here because they're in Portugal this week. They were in Spain last week. They're in Portugal this week, and then they're going to be in Lisbon next week. But they're going to help me because you know why? I'm babysitting their plant. So they have no other choice except to help me. But let me show you. From the gray sofa, this is what I bought. This is my new sofa. This is my new seat cover for my sofa. And I waited till after Christmas and I got it for half price. I couldn't believe it. So it's going to go from gray to this beautiful creamy white color. And I'm just very happy about it. And Paul and Francisco, when you see this video, yeah, you're coming over. The plant can't go home with you unless you help me do this because it's some part that has to be taken off and the side arms and all of that, but they'll help me. They won't have any problem doing that. But let me put this down. And of course, with me with a cat and a dog, I had to get on the internet and order from Amazon a cover so that the cat doesn't get on and shed because my Shih Tzu doesn't shed. So they'll be coming back soon and I'll have a little bit of decor difference and I cannot wait to show you my new sofa. It is such a difference from that dark gray to this light color. And it's like my whole apartment is finally coming together. I do have one more chair that I saw in Fontainebleau the other day. But I'm going to wait about another week because I think it'll go on sale for half price. I'm hoping anyway. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. And then I want it for that side of the room. And then I'm going to buy me in the spring a lemon tree. And I will, of course, put it over there in the corner. And then, of course, I have it right by the light and I have it right on my patio. So it won't be any trouble at all. But I am going to be so excited to go to the French Riviera. Does that not sound wonderful? And go to Monte Carlo. Just act like I'm all that in a bag of chips. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know that it's just been a crazy week. Developing OCD, losing the phone again, and being invited to the French Riviera. I think my week is starting out better than it was last week. Thank you so much for joining me. I know my video is a little short today, but you know what? It's better than nothing. And I thought it just might give us time to catch up. And if you have any questions or comments, please do so. And as always, be kind to people. You never know what they're going through. You never know what kind of day they've had. They may have had an argument that morning with a spouse or a mother or a father or a brother or whatever, or they just may be having a really bad day. And just be kind to people. And as always, I want to thank you for the lovely comments that you left last week on the video that I did about making changes and living a purposeful life and making things a little bit better for other people, what you can and cannot do. And I had some lovely comments. I had one lady that I remember that stood out to me. You know, when foster children leave to go from one home to another home, as they so often do too many times, they just take their items in a bag, like a garbage bag. And she saves suitcases or buys them at Goodwill or garage sales and things like that. And she gives them, I guess, to someone at Child Services. and they give them to the children so that they can leave that home with a little bit of dignity instead of all their items being in a garbage sack. And other people just talked about what they did, and it just inspired me to just do more myself. And I hope you had a good week. And I did mention last week about the Wisdom and Wellness Zoom. That has nothing to do with the girlfriend's getaway trip. This is a free Zoom that we're going to talk about our wisdom because we're older and more mature, and we'll talk about staying well, and we'll just talk about anything you want to talk about. And that will start in February. In fact, it may start on the 14th of February. We will see, because I'm going to be going to the Riviera during that time, but I will keep you advised as when we'll be doing that call, because I cannot wait. We're going to do it twice a month, and it'll be a Zoom call at 8 o'clock at night, my time, and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm looking forward to that. Once again, thank you. Be kind to each other. And as always, I love you. Au revoir.